Good day. We're from a group called Jaime Hilario from De La Salle University, Manila, taking up business management. I, Love de la Cruz, alongside Mark Santos and Maxine Layugan, the representatives of our group, to conduct an interview for our Lasallian studies subject. We are tasked to interview today to know how one can emphasize and highlight seal of service through education.
Today we have Mrs. Maria Teresa Vito Socorro. As Love said earlier, we are going to interview her for our Zeal service video interview. She's currently teaching in Colegio de Santa Rosa, Makati. She's a Christian Living education teacher and student formation coordinator. She also teaches theology and edukasyon sa pagpapakatao. She has been teaching these subjects since 2006. She also participates in school-based charity work and other private volunteer groups as well as non-government organizations, school and community-based service.
This interview will include 5 questions. We will now proceed on to our questions. For number 1, it was mentioned earlier by Mark that you have been teaching since 2006. So our first question is, what made you want to teach? Tell us about your teaching philosophy.
Okay, so thank you for that question. Yes, it's been 16 years now in the academe, and teaching wasn't really my first choice. But I was dragged gracefully to teach after my exit at the religious life. Teaching became my calling. It became my vocation. I am with my teaching philosophy, since I have this background of the Augustinian Recollect. My teaching is guided by the philosophy of Saint Augustine, where he saw that teaching is a spiritual exercise. It's a discipline to train and serve others for the purpose of Christian formation. Thank you.
So for our second question po, what inspires or motivates you to teach, particularly now that we are in the midst of pandemic?
Well, we have no choice. No, we have to. The work must go on. The more that I am inspired to continue the ministry of teaching, especially during this pandemic, I know that my students, the Rosenias under my care, need more guidance. They need more enlightenment from us, even if we are in a distant setup. This pandemic should not stop us from teaching. Instead, we push harder and find innovative ways to come up with a productive platform, a good platform, effective platform that, of course, not only in the academics, but to bring the spirit and mind of this young to God.
Hi,
Thank you.
Promise. I will be
Yes.
basing my question, the third question on the introduction earlier by Marco. He mentioned that you enjoy engaging in charity events and voluntary work. So my third question po is, what type of voluntary events do you engage in po?
Pre-pandemic, I am active in the non-governmental organization, in particular with a call to help the ITAS in Porac, Pampanga. It's just started with my friends, my colleagues, some of us, and we found this tribe, a small community that was introduced to us. Then until the simple endeavor of helping them brought us to a larger scheme, and that larger scheme, it became a school-based community outreach. Dinala namin sila, I mean, okay lang ma'am, Tagalog na. No, this small community was introduced to our school. Then it started, no, year 2016 up to the present, no? Pero this time, very limited yung aming help sa kanila, financially or with the dole out that we are doing.
For the fourth question po, since andun na po tayo sa talk about pandemic, in light with the pandemic po, what motivates you to help people, and is it hard to engage with people during these times po?
Helping one another should not stop at what should not stop us, whatever the circumstances are, no? But before the concept of the community pantry, we in our school community or small community here in Pasig where I live, we already organize simple outreach every quarter, no? Ano yung mga binibigay namin? We give out small school supplies to our maintenance, goods. Then during this pandemic, we expanded the so-called community pantry in the surrounding community. Yes, it is. It was very hard knowing that the budget is limited. It's hard to solicit and ask people for para ma-maintain or ma-sustain yung inyong call. But we have always this in mind. We are asking not for our own benefit, but for the people, para bang giving them the chance to help. With God's providence, we're able to sustain our program and receive donations from the generous people, both known and unknown, family members, and other friends. Yes.
To conclude our interview po, ma'am, our last question for you is, what advice would you provide to others who aspire to be like you?
Okay. Um, Lovely have witnessed no many Rosenias, even if they are already have graduated from CSR, still continue the mission of helping. And I would like to borrow what Mother Teresa of Calcutta said: if you cannot feed 1,000, at least you feed one. Sabi niya. And we should never give up nor get tired of in helping others. God's providential grace will always sustain our endeavor, for He knows the intentions of our heart. Kapag ang gawa ay may puso, hindi ka mapapagod, hindi ka mahihirapan. I would like to share my experience in Porac with the Aitas. They have this mga crops, no, nagtatanim sila ng gulay, ng mga prutas. And I asked this one nanay, sabi ko, nanay, why are you not getting these fruits? Ano na, hinog na, sabi niya. Anak, hinihintay ko yan para sa mga dadating pang mga bisita. Para pag may mag-visit sa amin, meron pa kaming fruits or veggies na i-share sa kanila. That mentality pushed me harder and think na siguro kung ganun yung lahat tayong, ganun yung mental concept or mentality natin, walang magugutom, walang mahirap kasi marunong tayong magbigay at maglaan ng kahit simple lang para sa iba. So, doon. Thank you and yeah, thank you so much.
And that concludes our interview for today. Before we end the call, we would like to formally thank you po, Mrs. Teresa, for giving us a big portion of your time po for this interview. Again, let us not forget the wise words of our speaker for today. We're Jaime Hilario Group from C38B. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. Have a great day po.